So basics of the hip routine are how many meridians run through the hip,
liver, was it 6? Yeah.
3 yin,
Each, yeah.
3 yang,
Yeah.
3 yin are
Kidney, spleen and liver, and
Yeah.
gallbladder, stomach and bladder.
so always when you're dealing with limbs and joints, 6. So regardless with hips, regardless if the pain is at the front, the side, the back, or the groin, you treat the whole hip. Because often, in some cases, they will not let you, or for body awareness reasons, you shouldn't go near the groin anyway, just from a professional perspective. Now, in some circumstances, you will treat sports people and they will be sometimes very accommodating, but you generally, as male to female, well, any sex to any sex, you just need to be aware of people's boundaries. The great thing about Tuina is you have the blanket. You can add in a cushion later. Generally, if the pain is in the hip here, I generally will have the person lying face down and go there first and work that area. But if the pain is very bad in the back of the hip, I'll actually start the front, because we know the front treats the back, the outside treats the inside, the yin treats the yang treats the yin. The lower part of the body treats the upper part of the body, the upper part of the body treats the lower. The ankle can treat the hip, the knee can treat the elbow, wrist can treat the ankle can treat the wrist. So we have all these different images. In Tuina, we try to go direct, and then if we're not getting results, we may go distal, or we may need to search around to see if the spine out of kilter, is the foot damaged, what is causing the hip. You will come across in some cases where people have gone and bought orthotics in a shop to adjust leg discrepancy, and they end up with a hip problem on the same side as the orthotic, because it wasn't a leg length problem, it was a pelvis problem. So be aware of these things. You also can have bursitis, which is an inflammatory condition. It's a sac that sits very thin. It provides lubrication for the ligaments of the body, and the tendons of the muscles. Bursitis is more common in ladies, more common in a certain age range, 40, 50, 60, that age range. And it can be very painful and hard to treat. So for a general routine, we're going to treat the whole thing. So I'll start with the person lying in the supine position, and then I'll begin by generally mofa on this area. Stay away from here, stay on the outside, stay on the stomach channels, gallbladder channels. Feeling to see is there actual tension in the thigh, and there is lower down towards the knee. So I'll begin with dispersing with gunfa. Not pleasant.
No.
So a lot of breathing. And I'll come up.
Oh, boy.
She's smiling, it's okay. Beats being in the office. So, rolling, 3 knuckles, 45, opening, closing, dispersing. If it's too much, ease back until you feel the tissue warming underneath your hands. If the person is large, heavy, strong, muscular, just big boned, you can go and transition to the elbow. Be careful, elbow is 3 times stronger than your hand, and I'm using very little effort, and you can feel that penetrating. Yeah. So again, now rofa, which is a dispersing of tension. And here I'm treating, if you imagine the quad attaches right up to here on the crest of the ASIS. So it is part of the hip tendinous complex here. That's why I'm treating this. So to put it in perspective, it's easier to see. Trousers. Again, the technique is relaxed. I'm not doing this. That's not gunfight. Gunfight is rolling. It's almost like I detach from the elbow, and the forearm is relaxed. She's now beginning to feel it easier, right? Ish. There are assessments that we do in the advanced. I'm not going to put it on this video. So there'll be assessments that we do of the leg length, the ankle, all the stuff you may have done, face down, face up. It gives us more of an idea.
Yeah, my.
Okay. Now I'll ask you to lie on your side. So you may continue a long time with that, depends on how much time you have to give. Generally, on average, for a general routine on the hip, no more than 15 minutes per leg, per hip. It depends, of course, on what you're doing. If you're adding an acupuncture, then cupping as well, that can change things. When you graduate with us, then later on you can come back and we do some very specifics, sort of just focusing in on one aspect and getting good at that. Here, Tuifa. Starting up here, gallbladder meridian. I can also roll. Now I'm into the side. Janie Mackers, what's going on?
So sorry.
I'm using a combination here. Where you need to be careful is on the TFL or the IT band. So actually the TFL is here. That's the muscle that pulls the IT band. And a lot of people do foam rolling on here, but it actually does absolutely zero other than to hurt them. If you're treating athletes and they want to foam roll, get them to roll the TFL muscle here. That's the one that will get this to relax. So a tight IT band means the muscle dysfunction, not the IT band. It's the muscle that pulls the IT band. Does that make sense? If you have someone with tight wrists, it's the forearm. Can't bend my wrist properly, check the forearm. If there's no physical damage to the wrist, it's the muscles. Again, rolling is relaxed, 2 to 3 knuckles depending on the size of the muscle group. Dispersing, and then Tuifa to dredge. Once I start to feel some more movement, I can get in behind into the seat bone here, the sit bone, the bum bone. And I'll actually do more with that when she's face down. Here then I can even come around this way. And I can do opposing thumbs down the IT band, being careful. You will see me on other videos doing this and then going to here. be careful with this because can be very unpleasant. So we will get youngster to get up in a minute after this and walk around and see the difference between our two legs. Will be kind of crazy. Walking in circles for a week, right? Because your husband won't lose you. Again, for me, I'm more of a right-handed person, so you see I favour the right hand a little bit more. You can tell because I have less hair on this forearm than this one. I can then also do Tuina at the front here, which I didn't get a chance to do, and get into this tendon.
Stickly.
Or painful.
Painful.
Sometimes, like, you'll get clients with a lower back issue here,
Mm-hmm.
especially during pregnancy, and it'll actually be this tendon here, the femoris tendon is tight, and you can get underneath there and pluck that. Be careful, pluck, pluck, pluck. And I've had, as a testimony somewhere, I'll dig out for you if you understand French, and it's a French guy saying, I had back pain, nothing was working, Anthony worked on my hip and pain went. So this tightness here is affected in here. It's quite interesting. From years of sitting usually at a desk. This guy would be like an insurance salesman or something. So bring the knee up this way. I want to get in. I can go heavier, be careful, and use Tuina with the elbow and get into the edge of the sacrum, piriformis muscle, gallbladder 20. This is the seat of bitterness in women. It's where all their bitterness resides. That's a joke. But, you know, Huantiao, gallbladder 30, so you can get in there. So now we've got a good warm-up. Face down for me, you don't need to put your head into the death hole. Always remembering which hip you are treating. Simple idea is do this with the socky. Yeah? It's like when somebody comes to do surgery. Which kidney are we taking, sir? The left or the right? The left. Are you sure the left or is it the right? So it depends which way I'm lying. So make sure we have some little indication. So now I'm going to work the hamstrings, and hey ho, I'm going to do what we did with the quads, rolling. Except I'm going to save my back and my energy and concern. So I'm going to sit on the bench with her, and I'm going to roll with here, and she's going to try not to scream. And we come down, rolling the hams. Sports people love it, runners, cyclists. And to get more power, I don't press more, I lean in more. I lean my spine towards her. That's how you generate. Practicing her breathing. Now, the hamstrings go below the knee, but they also go all the way up to here. That's why we treat the hamstrings, because it's going to have an involvement. And we also want to get into the sits bone, bladder 36, I think it is. Get in there with your elbow and press. Get in there. Hold. Roll. Contraindications, you can do this mostly on most people. Be careful with hip replacements. I wouldn't do any of the fancy manipulations that we do, because that will cause issues. Yeah. Pressing, releasing. Roll flat, dispersing. Now, we need to treat some of the more interior muscles, which I could have done face up, but sometimes it can be a little bit too exposing. So another way of treating the internal muscles of the leg is to get the thigh to here, support, and then be careful with a hip replacement or with a joint injury, but you can get in, and then it allows me to access here without causing too much issue. Yeah. You're never going to get into the attachments here really unless you're doing something else, but you can actually still heal this area. And by just even moving her leg, I can help. And from here, figure 4, if she's flexible, bring it right up. Keep an eye on this foot. I have been kicked in the ghoulies and it's fun. So, just keep an eye on where that foot's going. Sometimes I'll anchor the knee this way and keep on the ankle. Keep your distance if you're a man, so everything's back here. You always show respect to your client's boundary. Even if it looks a bit odd, you just try to keep good space. The blanket helps, of course, and also I can get into the back of the bone here now. So I'm getting right in. A lot of these areas is where the bursas and damage can occur. Tuina here, plucking as well, the piriformis. And then from here, of course, these other movements. Freeing the dragon's tail is good to do. We can even do then repatterning if they're able. This can help. Yes? Mm-hmm. We can also do striking method. Soft fist, hands open, and let the hand fall like a hammer. That way you won't bruise the client. If you're striking them, you'll bruise. So you just drop, relaxed, and it will penetrate. She'll feel like a shockwave. Feel that? Yeah. Okay, to turn over for me, please. And then to finish, generally, looking where the sock is. To here. Figures of 8. Her hip actually makes a V8 sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice smooth movement. Then if she's able and there's less discomfort here, arms by the side, I can do repatterning this way. So I push here, gentle, knee to the other shoulder, and then I roll her over. And I let the natural strength of her body drop Yeah, cool. So here. Okay. I can of course then finish. Okay, good. I'm going to stand up and have a stroll. Feel the difference in the two legs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's much different.
Does it feel like the other leg doesn't belong to you?
Yeah, it just feels like I'm dragging the other leg along.
Yeah. So that's like just over 15 minutes.